Picture this. You are out on the water, having a
Take control
perfect
of the
afternoon
border.
cruise. Then, suddenly, the Coast Guard or local marine patrol pulls up alongside you. You are completely relaxed because you think you are doing everything by the book. But then, you get hit with a massive fine, all because of something that has been sitting inside your boat's storage compartment for years. Most boat owners genuinely believe they are following the law right up until an unexpected inspection proves them wrong. Some of the most ordinary items people keep on their vessels could easily earn you a strict warning, a heavy penalty, or simply ruin a beautiful day on the water. Today, we are diving into 10 specific items that can suddenly become restricted, illegal, or a massive headache to have on your boat in 2026. Before we jump in, keep one crucial detail in mind. Maritime law is a highly complex web of federal regulations, state laws, and local waterway rules, all stacked on top of each other. Nothing in this video replaces checking the exact regulations for the specific waters you are navigating. This is especially true if you are taking on a massive journey like the Great Loop and crossing through dozens of different jurisdictions. Treat this list as a guide for what you need to double-check, not a substitute for local legal advice. Let us get started. Number 10. Unauthorized fireworks. A lot of boaters love to keep a stash of fireworks on board for a summer celebration at anchor, or just a fun night out with the family. This seems like one of the most innocent items on our list, right up until the moment you drift across a state line. The possession and deployment of fireworks are strictly regulated at the state level, and very often at the county or city level too. Those strict rules do not magically disappear just because you are floating on the water instead of standing in a backyard. Some regions ban consumer fireworks entirely. Others might allow basic sparklers but heavily restrict loud aerial explosives. Furthermore, most marinas and local waterways have their own strict policies against setting off fireworks near residential areas, other vessels, or protected wildlife zones. Those rockets that were perfectly legal at the roadside stand where you bought them can instantly turn you into a lawbreaker the second you cross into restricted waters. Also, let us clear up a very common misconception. Coast Guard approved emergency marine flares are a completely different legal category from recreational fireworks. One is mandatory safety equipment. The other is a consumer product. Thinking that your emergency flares can double as a holiday light show, or that party fireworks will satisfy your distress signal requirements, is a massive mistake. If you plan on putting on a show during a long trip, research the laws for the exact waters where you will be anchored, not just where you made the purchase. Moving on to number 9. Expired or incorrectly stored distress flares. Almost every boat owner has that familiar small orange box of pyrotechnics tucked away in a cabinet. Surprisingly, this is one of the most common legal traps out there, even for highly experienced captains. Let us be completely clear. It is not a crime to simply own expired flares. Lots of people keep the old ones as secondary backups, and that is perfectly fine. The legal violation happens when you try to use those expired flares to satisfy your mandatory visual distress signal requirements during a safety inspection. Pyrotechnic marine flares expire exactly 42 months after their manufacturing date. That is roughly every 3 boating seasons. Once that date hits, they are legally void, even if they would probably still light up perfectly fine. Another trap that catches people is how they throw them away. Expired flares are legally classified as hazardous materials, not household garbage. Tossing them into a standard marina dumpster can actually violate hazardous waste disposal laws. This is exactly why many boaters are switching to Coast Guard-approved electronic beacons, which do not expire like traditional chemical flares. Get into the habit of checking those expiration dates every single spring. And if you do keep the old ones on board, store them far away from your active safety kit so you do not hand the wrong box to an inspecting officer. 2 items down, 8 more to go. And trust me, the ones coming up catch even the most seasoned sailors off guard. If you are finding these tips helpful so far, please hit that like button, subscribe to Boat Scout, and turn on the notification bell. It really helps the channel and you will want to stick around because we are about to discuss the one mistake that ruins more long-distance cruises than anything else. Number 8. Illegal marine sanitation configurations. Every vessel equipped with a bathroom needs a proper way to manage waste, but this is one category where the law depends entirely on your exact GPS coordinates rather than the equipment itself. Under federal regulations, boats traveling through designated no-discharge zones are absolutely forbidden from releasing sewage into the water. This applies to both treated and untreated waste. No exceptions. Many inland lakes, rivers, and huge sections of coastal routes fall under this designation. In these protected waters, having a fancy, Coast Guard-approved treatment system is not enough. You must have a holding tank, and you must use it, eventually emptying it at a proper pump-out station. Here is the exact scenario where buyers of older boats get in trouble. Many vintage vessels feature a Y valve. This valve lets the captain switch between filling the holding tank or discharging directly overboard, which was perfectly fine decades ago. Simply having that valve on your boat is not illegal. However, whenever you enter a no-discharge zone, that valve must be physically secured in the closed position. You usually have to lock it with a heavy zip tie or a padlock. New owners who never think to inspect how the previous owner left that valve configured can end up unknowingly dumping waste the second they flush. Before exploring new areas, check the discharge rules and physically verify the position of your Y valve. Number 7. Controlled substances in federal waters. This topic creates a lot of confusion, so let us break it down clearly and calmly. In a growing number of places, marijuana is legal for medical or recreational use at the state level. However, it remains strictly illegal under federal law. Navigable waterways, areas around federal installations, and national park boundaries usually fall under federal jurisdiction, completely regardless of what the surrounding state laws say. This means a boat owner could be sitting at a marina, acting entirely within their legal state rights, but the moment they untie the lines and cruise into federal waters, they are instantly breaking the law. Enforcement can vary wildly depending on which specific agency pulls you over,
stopping criminals and
but the smartest approach is understanding that your state-level freedoms do not act as an invisible shield on every body of water.
And it is an
If your route
unparalleled
takes you through
defense.
national
At
parks
34
or
feet
heavily
long, it
monitored
is
shipping
capable
channels,
of traveling
you
at
need to be
speeds as fast
extremely
as
careful.
65.
We are halfway through the list now. I am really curious to know how many of these regulations you already knew about. Drop a comment below and tell me which item has surprised you the most so far. I read every comment, and it helps me plan out future videos for Boat Scout. Let us shift gears from human laws to nature. Number 6. Protected marine life and illegal harvests. Most boaters who get fined for this never intended to do anything wrong. They simply picked up a cool-looking shell on a remote beach, kept a fish that seemed big enough, or had no idea they were interacting with a protected species. Both federal and state agencies fiercely protect a massive variety of marine wildlife. Taking undersized fish, holding on to out-of-season catches, or accidentally disturbing protected coral species can lead to massive financial penalties. For example, certain sea turtle shells, or specific types of coral that wash up naturally on the sand, might still be highly illegal to possess. Fishing rules are notoriously complicated. They change constantly based on the season, the state, and even the specific inlet you are fishing in. A catch that is perfectly legal on one side of a bay might be considered poaching just 3 miles away across an invisible boundary line. Do not rely on your memory from a fishing trip you took 3 years ago. Always check the current, localized size and species restrictions for the exact spot you drop your line. Number 5. Invasive species and the transport of live bait. If you like to fish while you travel, you need to pay close attention. Across the country, states have enacted strict bans on transporting live bait fish or aquatic plants across state lines. This is meant to stop highly destructive invasive species, like zebra mussels, from destroying new ecosystems. These tiny invaders can cause millions of dollars in economic damage. For people navigating the Great Loop or towing their boat to different lakes, your live wells, bait buckets, and even the leftover water in your bilge can become a transportation network for these pests. Many regions legally require you to pull your drain plugs and completely empty your boat before launching into their waters. The best practice is straightforward. Never move live bait from one state to another unless you have checked the rules. Always drain your bilges and wash down your hull when moving between different freshwater systems. If this video has helped you spot a potential problem on your boat, take a quick second to like the video and subscribe to Boat Scout. The next 4 items are significantly more serious, starting with something that demands intense research. Number 4. Transporting firearms across jurisdictions. Keeping a weapon on your vessel for personal protection is not automatically illegal, but this is easily the most legally dangerous item on our list today. Gun laws fluctuate wildly depending on the state, the county, and the city. These laws dictate everything from maximum magazine capacities to strict storage and registration requirements. A setup that is 100% legal in your home port can easily be a felony the moment you drop anchor in a neighboring state with stricter rules. Telling a Marine Patrol officer that you were just passing through is not a valid legal defense. If you are embarking on a multi-state journey, do not try to figure this out as you go. Treat it as a serious research project before you ever leave the dock. If you are unsure, consult a legal professional who understands maritime firearm transport. Number 3. Counterfeit safety and distress equipment. Earlier we talked about expired flares, but there is a much darker problem flooding the market right now. Fake, non-compliant emergency gear is being sold to boaters who think they are scoring a great discount online. The danger is not just owning these fakes. The legal danger is relying on them during an official safety check, pretending they meet Coast Guard standards. Legitimate emergency equipment, like real EPIRB devices and certified distress signals, undergo brutal testing. Counterfeit products found on cheap third-party websites might look identical in the photos, but they lack all safety certifications. If you present these fakes during an inspection, you will fail. But much worse, if your boat is sinking in the middle of the night, those cheap knockoffs might fail to trigger, putting your life in extreme danger. Stop buying life-saving equipment from random online sellers and stick to reputable marine supply stores. Always look for genuine Coast Guard approval stamps. Number 2. Improper disposal of hazardous marine waste. Every single boat on the water naturally generates a collection of used motor oil, dead marine batteries, and harsh cleaning chemicals. Having these items on board is fine. The legal issue is how you store them and how you eventually throw them out. Keeping old oil in a cracked plastic jug or leaving corroded batteries exposed to the elements creates immediate safety hazards. But intentionally or accidentally pumping these chemicals into the water violates severe environmental protection laws. It is a major federal offense to discharge oily waste into the water if it leaves a visible rainbow sheen on the surface. You are actually legally required to report those kinds of spills immediately. Keep your engine space clean. Store old fluids in perfectly sealed containers. Dispose of them at certified recycling centers, and critically, monitor your automatic bilge pumps to ensure they are not pumping engine oil straight into the ocean while you are asleep. And finally, the item that shocks almost everyone. Number 1. Recovering historical artifacts and protected shipwrecks. The vast majority of boaters operate on a simple finders-keepers mentality. They assume that if they spot something shiny on the seabed, it belongs to them. In reality, the law disagrees completely. Old shipwrecks, underwater archaeological zones, and artifacts are heavily protected by legislation like the Abandoned Shipwreck Act. Taking an old brass fitting, a historic coin, or a piece of timber from a wreck without official government permits is a serious legal violation. It does not matter if the ship has been sitting in the mud for 200 years. It is easy to get excited when you stumble across a piece of history while diving. But these laws exist to protect historical data for scientific research, not to help individuals build a private pirate treasure collection. If you are diving near a known historic port or a mapped wreck, admire it from a distance. Leave everything exactly where you found it. The truth is, none of these laws exist just to trap innocent boaters and steal their money. They are in place to protect fragile ecosystems, preserve history, and keep everyone on the water safe. Spending just a few minutes researching your route before you leave the dock can save you thousands of dollars in fines. If this video saved you from making a costly mistake, please hit that like button, subscribe to Boat Scout, and turn on the notifications. It signals the YouTube algorithm to push this video to other captains who desperately need to hear this information. I am Boat Scout. If you love practical marine advice, smart gear guides, and boating tips, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss our new videos every week. See you on the water.